I'm trying to come up.
Chris, General.
Here.
Right behind you, man.
All right behind you? You're right behind me?
Yeah.
Everything inside me hope and a rescue was going on. Nobody was making an attempt to rescue me.
Engulfed by a 30-inch underwater pipeline coated in oil, 5 men were propelled at alarming speeds into what can only be described as a surreal and horrifying ordeal, yet only one would survive to recount the ordeal. A GoPro camera attached to one of the divers captured the critical moment of the calamity, revealing footage that is utterly chilling. On February 25, 2022, at the Pointe-à-Pierre Berth 6 platform, Fyzal Kurban, Kazim Ali Jr., Rishi Nagassar, Yusuf Henry, and Christopher Boodram of LMCS embarked on a routine maintenance mission on a non-operational pipeline owned by Paria Fuel Company, a state-run oil entity in Trinidad and Tobago. This 30-inch U-shaped pipeline, resting on the ocean floor, was engineered to convey oil from Berth 6, a docking point for oil shipment, to Berth 5, the refinery site. Acknowledging certain risks, the quintet, equipped with their diving prowess, initiated the task by installing an air tube within a diving bell, an 8-foot cubical structure, to form a dry working area by displacing seawater with a pressurized air pocket, thus allowing for tool usage and maintenance work without the need for diving gear. Despite being a routine task, the dive took an unexpected turn due to a previously installed inflatable plug meant to secure the pipeline's oil content. This plug, part of a standard but risky procedure known as dead legs, demands meticulous planning and oversight due to its potential hazards. On that day, as the divers set out to remove the plug, an unforeseen pressure discrepancy unleashed a maelstrom within the pipeline, instantly drawing air, water, the divers, and their equipment into a frenzied whirlpool. The force of this suction overwhelmed the diving bell, transforming it from a haven into a perilous trap, and in a matter of seconds, the team was forcibly dragged through a tumultuous blend of water and oil. A dire struggle for air lasting a harrowing 90 seconds before coming to an abrupt halt. Regrouping in the pipeline, they quickly grasped the severity of their predicament. They found themselves in a section of the pipeline where an air pocket offered them a brief respite, courtesy of the chaotic mix of water, air, and oil. Christopher Boodram, the lone survivor, recounts the harrowing ordeal. The battle for survival had just begun. Trapped within a 200-foot-long oil pipeline, disorientation, injuries, and sheer panic enveloped the men. Amid this turmoil, attempts to stay positive and communicate offered brief moments of solace. Yet, the grim reality of their circumstances soon overwhelmed any flicker of hope. The GoPro, a silent witness to their struggle, captured every moment of terror and their desperate fight for life. Chris initially thought they had been propelled headfirst through the pipeline, suggesting a backward crawl to escape. However, Kazim, Yusuf, and Fyzal believed they had entered feet first, persuading him to follow their consensus. As the least injured, Chris took the lead, stepping onto Kazim's shoulders. He coordinated their efforts with Kazim pulling and Fyzal pushing from the rear, forming a human chain to navigate their way out. The journey through the thick, oily darkness, compounded by injuries, searing pain in their eyes and throats, and overwhelming discomfort, proved to be a grueling ordeal. Their progress was painfully slow, with no end in sight, but they pressed on, fueled by prayer and sheer willpower. Eventually, they stumbled upon 2 oxygen tanks with attached regulators. Aware of the potential for disorientation and sickness from the pipe's air, Chris advised taking cautious sips from the tanks to maintain a clear head. Despite this small boon, rising water levels increased the difficulty of their escape. Noticing the varying levels of distress and immobility among the group, Christopher explored ahead, only to uncover a daunting reality. A section of the pipeline completely submerged. With only 2 tanks for 5 men, proceeding was perilously unsafe. Recognizing the risk of panic and harm among them, Chris faced an agonizing choice. He resolved to proceed alone in search of help. After sharing the grim situation, the group concurred, entrusting him with an oxygen tank. Chris pledged to return with assistance. Despite Kazim's pleas for him not to leave, Chris had to forcefully disengage from Kazim's grip to embark on the solitary leg of his journey. Uncertain of his direction and the remaining oxygen, he navigated the underwater portions, hoping for another air pocket. Encountering various flooded segments, some with air pockets, he pressed on until the dwindling air supply signaled imminent danger. Relying on his diving experience and driven by desperation, he used the last of his oxygen, determined to find safety. By some twist of destiny, his tank struck another object in the darkness ahead. It was a spare oxygen tank. Frantically, he sought the regulator of this newfound tank. Amid the complete darkness, he eventually located it, though it lacked a mouthpiece. Thus, he jammed the valve into his mouth. The experience was akin to swallowing the foul taste of aged engine oil. His mouth was coated in a greasy film. Yet, he drew a much-needed breath from the tank. Resolute, he pressed on, propelled by sheer will, uncertain of his own survival prospects, let alone the condition of his comrades left behind. Navigating through the pipeline, he stumbled upon another air pocket. Deep down, he recognized that his only path to safety lay in reaching the riser, though the journey ahead was fraught with peril. No visibility, cramped quarters, and an oxygen supply rapidly depleting. His vision blurred, throat searing, and body aching, Christopher persisted, maneuvering through the slippery, submerged confines. Unfortunately, this pipe segment was partially filled with water. Discovering another air tank, he approached the final waterlogged passage leading to the riser. It was then he heard Fyzal's voice echoing behind him, imploring Chris to pause before tackling the last underwater stretch. But Chris explained the urgency of their plight. They had overstayed in the pipeline and time was slipping away. Debating their potential exit at berth #6, Chris proceeded alone after ensuring Fyzal had access to an oxygen supply. Venturing into the aquatic maze, he sought the pipe bend that might herald their deliverance. After enduring what felt like an eternity, his next choice was critical. This junction could lead either to the sealed berth 5 or back to berth 6, their entry point. Facing this crossroad for the third time, bracing himself for the end, Chris summoned a final surge of resolve and propelled himself toward the riser. Despite exhaustion, Chris was determined to escape and secure aid for his team. Battling through the sting of oil in his eyes and lungs, weighed down by fatigue, he finally surfaced at the pipe's top. Though he emerged alive, the ordeal was far from over. As he relayed his account to the medical team, detailing the predicament of his colleagues, skepticism met his story. The company doubted the feasibility of their survival, assuming the pipeline was oil-filled and the oxygen supply limited to an hour per tank. Rescue efforts by LMCS divers involved tapping on the pipeline, a gesture that, while offering a glimmer of hope to the entrapped men, ultimately did not lead to their extraction. As hours turned into days, the stranded divers endured their injuries, dwindling oxygen, an oppressive atmosphere of oil vapors, encroaching seawater, and accumulating carbon dioxide. Despite initial hopes, Paria Trading Company and LMCS failed to execute a rescue. The grim realization that no help would arrive deepened their despair. Days later, the recovery of the remaining divers concluded this tragic chapter. Autopsy findings were inconclusive regarding the exact time of death, leading to speculation about their final moments. A commission of inquiry in Trinidad and Tobago was established to dissect the events leading up to what became known as the Paria diving tragedy, with Christopher Boodram providing a harrowing testimony of their ordeal.
Everything just spinning and beating you up and it happened so fast. I couldn't react. The only thing I remember able to do was cover my head, like in the fetal position. After that, all I remember, I didn't even remember actually getting pulled in the pipe. I just remember getting pulled through the pipe at unbelievable speeds. I couldn't hold my breath no longer, man. Truth. When you're holding your breath for too long, after a while, your body, your lungs just fight. Yeah, your waist closed, you see a noise. Your body suffering to pull air. An unbelievable nightmare. Your eyes burning. Every time you try to open your eyes, it's burning. You're pitch black, you can't see nothing. Your throat burning. Your ears ringing. your body sore. And at that point, I tell myself I was going to dead. Because everything inside me open and rescue. Everything inside me open and rescue was going on. Nobody was making an attempt to rescue me. I always somebody who doesn't know what's going on, and I was always somebody who could control and see things through, and I feel like
I'm trying to come up.
General.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right behind you, man.
All right behind you? You're right behind me?
Yeah.
Huh? You don't know I'm trying to come up?
It's not going up.
Who making all that noises? Come on, all that we let's figure it out. We gotta go. We gotta start moving. Yeah.
Where you at?
I don't know. I'm trying to come up.
Trying to come up.
But don't worry, all is good. All is good, I'm gonna get with you this. I'm trying to come out. Huh? Yeah. Who is that boy there? Yusuf? Oh, Yusuf? How long you have to walk before you meet Fyzal? You and Fyzal was together all the time?
Right now, we are fighting. Right now.
Who else with you?
We are fighting alone.
Kaz with you?
Right there.
Right there with Kaz, everything alright with you?
No.
Any items break?
All the way.
Your leg, alright. Fyzal, anything happen to you?
Yeah.
A Fyzal?
No way.
Yusuf, anything happen to you?
Yeah, boy.
What happened?
Come on, break.
Alright. Alright.